Hi, I'm Fabiola Baughman. I'm a shamanic guide, filmmaker, and author of the book Awakening the Earthkeeper Within. Here is the proof of the book that will be released on December 11th. And this channel is about Indian spirituality. So, let me ask you a question. Have you ever felt that the earth is calling you, or perhaps you felt a whisper or a sensation, a knowing perhaps in your heart that says there's something more, there's something you're meant to remember about how your relationship with Mother Earth must be, you know? And this is where my story starts. That's the calling that I had. So most of the people don't know this about me, but I did not grow up thinking I was going to become a shaman. I was trained to be a scientist, a biologist actually, logical, rational, grounded in the physical world and the data. And yet there was always something else in me, a subtle connection, a spiritual attunement, a sense that I was in conversation with the mountains, especially the mountains of my country, Peru, where I was born, long before I had the language to explain it. As I grew older, like many of us, I disconnected from that inner knowing, right? Because life gets busy, you're being told you got to pick a career, and you pick what's practical, what's linear. And in the process, I forgot spiritually who I was. But spirit never forgets. The mountains never forgot. So I was actually born in Lima, and shortly thereafter I was taken to Arequipa, which is high in the Andes, and I was around the mountains until the age of 4. And when I returned to Lima, there was always that connection with the mountains. And eventually I was called back. I remember when I was in college, I used to love going to the mountains just to find quiet and solitude, and just my grounding. It just helped me so much emotionally. So this book, really the whole story I'm telling you about was not planned, you know, because I said I was supposed to be a scientist, which I became a scientist, but then I realized, you know, that I was called for something different. So what I like about this book, and so many stories that you probably are familiar with if you're in the spirituality field or familiar with spirituality, is that this book was born during the Pachacuti, which is the time we're in now. It's a time of great turning predicted by indigenous cultures, like, you know, across Americas, Peruvian culture, Native American culture, etc. And this is a time when all systems are unraveling and being challenged, being destroyed, being reformed, actually taken to the ground and build back up again, right? Humanity is being asked to return to unity. We're supposed to work together instead of fighting against each other. Return to reciprocity and reverence, ceremony that is so important for tradition. So we're living in a profound moment, a moment when humanity has a choice. Do we continue down this path of separation and imbalance, or do we remember who we truly are, right? And there's a prophecy you may be familiar with, the prophecy of the eagle and the condor. And the eagle and the condor prophecy speaks about it directly about this moment. It says that when the mind of the north, the eagle, technology, intellect, and the heart of the south, the condor, intuition, earth wisdom that comes from the south, from the South American culture, they reunite, a new humanity will be born. Let's pay attention to that for a moment. It's not about one being right or wrong. It's about being complementary. It's about being the intellect and intuition coming together, the knowledge and the wisdom. One is not better than the other, they're just complementary. My life has been a weaving of those two worlds because I was born in South America. I live through my culture every day, even though I live in the United States, and I go back and forth, right? And I live in the world of science and spirit, and the world of North and South, and the world of rational and mystical. And this book is part of that weaving. So also, one of the stories that I tell in this book is how the mountains invited me to tell the story of the Andes, of the Andean people, their wisdom, and how they return to Mother Earth, you know. And I filmed a documentary. It's called Journey to the Heart of the Andes. And the documentary is a story of how you can become an earth keeper, right? And I felt the need to write the story of how the documentary came to be in this book, what inspired me, how it came together, and the message that the documentary is trying to share. So the interesting thing was that along the way, as I was trying to film the documentary, a lot of people came to help me, to support me. no awakening happens alone. And my awakening was shaped by 4 profound guides who walked with me as I filmed the documentary Journey to the Heart of the Andes. And as I stepped into becoming a chakaruna. What is a chakaruna? It's a bridge between worlds, as I explained before. So the first guide was Diane Dunn, and I call her the Weaver of Stories. And this is her book, Cusco, too. Actually, my bookmark is a ticket. It's a ticket from returning from Peru. And this is a book that I carry with me, that we carry with us while we were filming, because we wanted to see how everything we saw was related to the rites. The rites are initiations from the Andean people, and I have a video about that that was released earlier this year. So a few weeks ago, actually. Diane had once been a minister in South Africa, but then she felt the calling to create a sanctuary in the Sacred Valley. And her words, not only in her book, but during her interview, was to help me understand what the Munaiki rites were, not as rituals, but as living seeds. So when you receive this rite, it's almost something awakens within you. So something is implanted in you that has the potential to grow into your destiny. And that's what she says. You tend these seeds and your destiny will unfold. Isn't that wonderful? So she explained to us how that magic can happen. The next person that was pivotal in this journey was Vilma Pinedo Sanchez. If you have traveled to Peru, if you're familiar with the shamans in the Sacred Valley, you have heard of Vilma, because Vilma comes from a long line of healers from the area of Guasao. And she is a medicine woman. And she was the one that walked me fearlessly into my healing gift, taking me to mountains, receiving messages and downloads. And she told me that a true shaman is not created by humans, but initiated by nature itself. It's that attunement with nature, that spark that nature gives you, either in the form of lighting, the form of a download, or the form of a activation in nature that makes you that puts you in your path. And through her, I learned to listen to the Apus, the mountain spirits of Peru, of the mountain spirits of the Andes, really, and living beings, as living beings with memory, wisdom, and consciousness. Can you imagine a mountain having consciousness? And that is so real, and that is so true when you start connecting with the mountains. The best lessons I've learned, the most profound lessons I've learned in my life have come from mountains. And that's what I talk about in my book. So if you want to learn about it, you should get it. So the next person that helped me in this process was a wonderful spiritual guide. He's actually kind of like a tourist guide, but trained in the spiritual field, because he's a very spiritual person. And I call him the gentle interpreter. His name, Julian Sassari. Julian was a steady presence who guided us across the Andes during the filming of the documentary and throughout other journeys that I took in the Andes. And he interpreted not only with words alone, but with his heart. So there was moments in which I would get insights, I would get downloads and visions, or things would happen and he would make sense of it, because it's a very different world over there, how everything responds, the weather, the birds, the rocks, the clouds, and understanding how nature reacts and interacts with you takes a trained eye and a trained heart to get it. And he was the one that helped me understand this relationship. He never imposed, he simply held space as I transformed, as I became more and more myself. So that was a wonderful, wonderful experience to travel with him. And another person that I want to mention is Elena Pardo. Elena is the founder of Seprosi, which is an organization that helps promote the chacarera pedagogy. So basically, it's the farm way of teaching children, thousands of children, really, to return to the ways of Mother Earth, to have that relationship with the Apus, with the spirits of the mountains, to have the relationship with the archaeological sites, and to create a new humanity, because we're creating a humanity that is spiritually aligned, that everything that they do it for purpose, not for gain. And it's important to have gain, of course, but its purpose it should be the main driving force of this new humanity. And that's what she teaches children. She does this through different activities like Watunakui, which is a coming together of communities that want to exchange seeds after the harvest. And I've been the witness of that, and that's what she does. That's her job. And I learned so much, and she helped me so much understand the job that I was doing, because when I received the assignment from the mountains to do this, I didn't know what I was doing, but man, they make sure that I interview the right person, the right people. So through Elena, I understood that these teachings aren't just about personal healing. They're about community, about remembering our collective role as earth keepers, right? So that's what the book is about. How do we become earth keepers? And together, these 4 guides form a sacred circle around me. Their teachings appear throughout the book as threads of wisdom. Imagine everything in the Andes is related to tapestry, because that's how they make their clothings, their tablecloths. I mean, all of that. Everything in Indian wisdom is related to tapestry. So to weaving. And this book is not any different. It's weave with the stories of these people, with this wisdom, with their guidance. But they're not only guiding my journey. As you read the book, they're going to be guiding you through your own journey and your own epiphanies and your own awakening. So, but just to clarify, what is an earth keeper, right? So I want to be very clear, and I hope you understand what I'm going to tell you. It's not someone who tries to be perfect. It's not someone that guilt trips people into taking care of the earth. It's not someone who judges others. And it's not someone that is a know-it-all, that has all the answers. No. An earth keeper is someone who listens deeply to the heart of Pachamama, to the heart of Mother Earth, to the rivers, to the mountains. Honors the land and all living beings, respectfully asks permission to the land, and understands that healing the planet begins with healing ourselves. Isn't that wonderful? So if you truly want to heal the planet, you need to heal yourself. An earth keeper remembers that we belong to the earth, that we're not separate from nature, that our body is made of her minerals, that our breath is her forests, that our heartbeat follows the rhythms of the earth. And when we heal, the earth feels it, because she's our mother. And when you rise, your lineage, your ancestors rises. They rise with you. It's not powerful. Your lineage rises with you. So through these teachings that I am going to share with you in my book, I finally understood my purpose. I am a bridge person. I'm a Chaka Runa. Chaka means bridge, Runa means person. And basically, I'm a connector between the modern Western world and the ancient wisdom that has been preserved with so much devotion. But I do it with a lot of humbleness. I'm not anybody special. I'm not any different than you. I just found my purpose. And my medicine is storytelling, through film, through writing, through guiding journeys to Peru. Every story I share carries the voice of the mountains, the teachings of the elders, and the call of Pachamama for us to return home, to become the new humanity. So if anything in this story has stirred something inside of you, if you feel the remembering, if you feel the earth calling to you, then Awakening the Earthkeeper Within is ready for you, okay? So the book is being released on December 11th, but it's not available for pre-order, especially the Kindle version is available for pre-order. So I'm going to put the link down below, and I invite you to come and walk this journey with me. I had so much fun walking all these mountains for so many years, and especially in the last few years. And I've been blessed with such incredible guidance, and I want to share this journey with you. So I hope you take the leap and just enjoy this story. So I give it to you with love and reverence. Have a wonderful day. Bye.